One gun should have been took before Tati got killed.
Emotions still running high this weekend as prayer vigil turned into a night of angry questions. You heard Demetrius Feimster's mother there, one of two people killed during a shooting at a Conway park. We thank you for joining us here on the Weekend Wrap-Up. I'm Hoyt. People from all over the region returned to Fifth Avenue Park this past week to remember the lives lost there. But as Brooke Buckner shows us, frustration grew over the course of that evening.
I'm gonna hurt the rest of my life, but I'm mad now.
A range of emotions at Fifth Avenue Park Monday night. Community members from all over returning to the spot where a party ended in gunfire.
This is where my baby party is. He loved Conway. I don't know if he thought it was safe up here, but clearly he would.
Demetrius Feimster's mother, one of the ones taking the floor at the prayer vigil.
And my son was right there. Tati was right there. And when I got here, my baby didn't wake up for me.
Faulkner County NAACP hosted the vigil to show support for grieving families.
So it's my job to make sure that our community knows what they can do to move forward and what we can do to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Shantae Duncan is the president of the Faulkner County NAACP. She says she wants to make sure everyone at the April 13th party has the resources they need to move forward.
And I have personally been in situations where there's been gunshots, and that's something you do not get over. And we have to get these kids therapy, and there are resources out there.
People in attendance took the prayer vigil as an opportunity to share what they experienced the night of the shooting. Some voicing frustrations, saying police were there before shots rang out and could have stopped it.
Conway failed my baby. Conway failed Tati. And whoever was firing the gunshots failed me. But it started with when they ran the first time, the park should have been shut down.
Conway police addressed that claim during last week's press conference, saying they're still investigating what exactly happened before shots were fired.
I do know that there were a few calls out there before the shooting. So I do going to look and see what calls we were, how many calls, what calls were in the city. At the end of the day, we're responsible for answering emergency calls through the whole city as well. So that's part of the investigation.
As well as the actual shooting and finding a suspect.
If you saw something or you know who did it or who was shooting, say something.
In Conway, Brooke Buckner, THV 11 News.
Now, you heard a clip there from Conway police from April 15th reacting to claims that they did have officers around the park on the day of that shooting. Well, after repeated requests for information, Conway police scheduled another news conference for Friday. Check here on THV 11 Plus for the details that emerged. Less than 2 weeks from the start of the Real ID requirement, and the state of Arkansas is doing what it can to make the process of getting one easier. Starting May 7th, anyone traveling by plane or entering a federal building is going to need a new ID or an acceptable alternative like a U.S. passport. The Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration expects demand for these licenses to be high. They extended hours on the Saturday of this weekend, all ahead of the start date. Officials are urging Arkansans to get this taken care of, especially ahead of the summer.
If you're traveling late in the summer, just make sure you come by our office and get that done before you hop on an airplane. I don't want anybody going to the airport and getting turned away and having their travel plans frustrated because you don't have a real ID and you need to be able to have one in order to travel.
To give you an idea of the demand the state is seeing, the DFA says it's issued about 140,000 real IDs since January 1st of this year. The agency says every revenue office in the state is equipped to issue the license and encourages anyone with questions to visit ar.gov/real ID. Now, a line at the revenue office could be aggravating, but the lines at the airport, they figure to be costly, and that was the message that TSA administrators shared at the Little Rock Airport to know what you need to do and what they'll ask for once that Real ID kicks in. Patricia Mancha is the spokesperson for the TSA, and she walked us through what will happen if you try to show up to security without one.
You go to the checkpoint and a traveler can't find their ID. We always ask that traveler to step aside so the other people in line can continue on their journey. That's going to be pretty much what we do here. If you don't have a real ID, we will ask you to step aside. We will work with you to validate and verify your identity. But we hope that it will not cause too much disruption to the people in the queue.
So while Mancha says they're used to validating the identities of people who don't have proper identification, it is a process that can put other travelers behind, and they urge people without one to show up even earlier than your airline recommends. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has signed 1,026 new laws this year, many of them just in the last week as this year's regular session wrapped up. Rebecca Brown sat down with her to dig into the debates and the issues that you told us mattered the most.
The 95th General Assembly is in the books, and Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders calls it a success.
I think we had a tremendously productive legislative session. We have some great things that came out of the partnership of the last couple of months. Everything from Arkansas Access, which was one of the big priorities that I had going into this session, really building on what we were able to do through Arkansas Learns.
Another point of pride for the governor, eliminating the state grocery tax. While that push saw unanimous support in the legislature, a bill targeting pharmacy benefit managers split lawmakers. You recently just signed that into law. Was that a hard thing for you to do?
It really wasn't, and it shouldn't be hard. I'm proud that Arkansas is leading on this issue. For far too long, the PBMs have been the drug middleman and frankly passed the cost on to the consumer.
The CVS sent out a statement saying they'll close 23 stores, 500 employees will lose their job. Are you worried at all any pushback from other companies thinking about coming to Arkansas to establish any business?
That's a choice that CVS is making. They are choosing the PBMs over their stores and their patients here in the state of Arkansas.
But not every bill supported by the governor made it to her desk. A push to create more funding for her planned prison failed 5 times in the Joint Budget Committee. I asked the governor how she plans to keep the project moving forward.
This is a legislature that overwhelmingly passed and supported the PROTECT Act, essentially demanding and putting the responsibility for us to build a new prison. They've set money aside specifically for that purpose. We're going to use that, and we're going to continue to go through the process and get the job done.
And Franklin County is still the perfect location for this to be done.
That's still the best location that we have identified anywhere in the state.
Finally, she addressed the headlines making national news. The federal government denying disaster aid for Arkansas after multiple severe weather events.
We have since appealed that decision. I spoke with Secretary Kristi Noem yesterday. We expect this to be processed quickly, and we've provided additional and extra information that bolsters the need. At the end of the day, though, I've talked to the president, I've talked to Secretary Noem. We want to make sure that people are taken care of, and we're going to continue to work to ensure that happens.
In Little Rock, Rebecca Brown, THV 11 News.
Now you can find that full interview with Governor Sanders right here on our THV 11 Plus digital platforms. Well, over the last 4 months, changes announced by the federal government have been rolling out rapidly, especially the ones about Social Security. The White House says it's to cut fraud and government waste. But rumors of massive cuts and limited services have many recipients starting to worry. Karen Fuller verifies how Arkansas field offices might be affected.
Arkansas is home to more than 733,000 people who receive Social Security benefits. But recent changes to how the agency operates are causing confusion. THV 11 viewer Sharon from Conway asked us, is it true that I'll have to go to a Social Security office to do what I used to do by phone? Sharon, let's verify. Our sources are the Social Security Administration, Axios, the Associated Press, and the White House. The biggest change affecting customers involves identity verification. To apply for benefits or update direct deposit, you now have to prove who you say you are. If you can't verify your identity online or by phone, you'll have to visit a field office in person. Arkansas has just 17 field offices to serve more than 733,000 people, and there's concern some may close. The AP reports offices in Forest City and Texarkana will close by next month when their leases expire. But just last week, the acting SSA commissioner said they're walking back some of the changes. The AP reports all claim types will now be allowed over the phone or online thanks to improved ID verification technology. But there's a catch. Getting through to a live agent is tough. Local media across the country report hold times over 2 hours or calls dropping entirely. The Washington Post even reported multiple website crashes as anxious users try to log on. So the claim that you'll need to travel to a field office needs context. If you can verify your identity online or by phone, you can handle most services remotely. If not, a trip to the nearest field office might still be necessary, and availability could depend on staffing and location status.
To avoid having to call a Social Security office entirely, it's recommended that you create an online Social Security account if you haven't already, called My Social Security. And we have a link in this story for you on THV11.com. I'm Karen Fuller, inviting you to join us tomorrow for Wake Up Central from 4:30 to 7.
They say the road to perdition is paved with good intentions. The folks in Jefferson County would like to know if there's any good intention to pave the potholes. We'll tell you why officials say the money is all tied up. Still ahead. Another day, another drama in Jefferson County. According to County Judge Gerald Robinson, about 3/4 of the county's roads need replacing. The problem is, according to him, his hands are tied. Members of the quorum court say otherwise. So we know roads are important to you. Catherine Rowley looks into the issue to try and see what could be done.
We just want the roads fixed. The people want the roads fixed.
As weather comes and goes, and cars go, the roads in Jefferson County continue to get worn down. In some instances, large potholes occur. It's a problem County Judge Gerald Robertson says he's been trying to fix for years.
Well, they voted no for appropriations. We can do a whole lot more. But right now, the only thing that we're able to do is do a little bit of patching.
Judge Robinson says 8 members of the quorum court voted against appropriations proposal. It would have taken money from salaries to fix the roads. That claim from the judge is echoed by Ricky Bullard, the road superintendent for Jefferson County.
It's my job, and I cannot do my job if I don't have the funding.
Both Bullard and Judge Robertson told me they were making progress, paving over 60 miles of roads in the county. But now they say there hasn't been major road work done since 2023.
It's very nerve-wracking. It really bothers you. When you think about these conditions that the roads are in, and then when a constituent come to you, what do you tell them?
Rick, or Doc Victorino, is Justice of the Peace for District 11.
What about our roads? When are we going to get our roads fixed?
As a volunteer first responder, Victorino knows the conditions of the roads all too well, especially on Lee Springs Road.
As a first responder, if we're responding to a call, we're forced to get on the opposing side of the road.
The safety of his community is what's the most concerning, but Victorino was one of the 8 who voted no on the appropriations proposal because of what he called inconsistencies. That no vote was shared by Reginald Johnson, the Justice of the Peace for District 3, who says there's just no need for it.
He is not spending the money is the reason why the roads aren't fixed.
Not only are the roads in the county in need of repair, but Johnson showed me potholes in the parking lot of the county courthouse. And he says the budget has more than $2.5 million put aside to fix the roads.
I don't know why he's saving this money, but clearly there's another use for it other than the people's roads, and that's a problem.
The money is there.
The same opinion is shared by Justice of the Peace Alfred Carroll, who says the power to fix the road lays in one person's hands.
All he has to do is give his road department, his director, the directions, fix the roads.
In Jefferson County, Catherine Rowley, THV 11 News.
Of course, Jefferson County is working off its 2024 budget. The legislature had to pass a law to end a county government shutdown at the start of this year. Jefferson County budgeted $2.8 million for roads last year. It's almost special election time for several communities across central Arkansas. We caught up with leaders in Bryant, Searcy, and Pope County to learn more about what voters will see on their ballots next month.
You can build the nicest parks, the nicest accommodations in your communities, but if people are afraid to go there, then what is your quality of life?
That's why for the first time in 31 years, Polk County leaders are asking voters to approve a new public safety tax. One Judge Ben Cross says could fund the construction of a new jail and 911 center.
Our current jail is 45 years old, and in that 45-year span, Polk County's population has more than doubled.
Sheriff Shane Jones says the facility is falling apart.
Where the pipes are crumbling underneath the foundation, a lot of the older areas in our jail are up for repairs.
Those challenges are creating strain in other areas. Sheriff Jones says the county started the year with nearly 11,000 active misdemeanor warrants, a problem they can't fully address with current resources.
All we are is holding violent felonies and violent misdemeanors right now. As far as just your common misdemeanor laws, we haven't been able to uphold misdemeanor justice, and that's what we're trying to get done here with this tax.
Judge Cross says the county purchased the land for the project 3 years ago. If passed, a proposed 3/4 cent sales tax will be used to construct, operate, and maintain the new facility.
And so public safety is a quality of life issue, in my opinion, and we're trying to task people to realize that, you know, if you and your family go out and eat and it's $50, you're looking at contributing about 35 cents to public safety in our county.
The superintendent of Searcy Public Schools says all this land behind me could be a game changer, but first they have to convince the voters.
To do some construction pieces and to kind of continue the work that we've done over the last several decades.
Right now, people living within the Searcy School District pay a millage rate of 35.7 mils to support the school district and its projects. But that's set to expire in 2032, which would revert the rate back to the minimum 25 mils and hinder several planned improvements, according to Superintendent Bobby Hart.
What we're asking the voters to do is to extend those debt service mills out an additional 30 years.
The biggest thing that extension would pay for is a new agriculture facility, which would consist of this building as well as a new one in this field behind it. Hart says they've outgrown the current space, which often has welding, woodworking, and agriculture students all working in close quarters.
If a kid decides to go major in agriculture in college, it gives him or her the opportunity to be exposed to quality atmosphere, great learning environments, and that's what we want to provide.
The millage extension would also pay for 4 new safe rooms, so that every campus in the district would have one that could be used by students or the community in the event of inclement weather.
We're asking to borrow $25.5 million to meet those goals, and we think that we've been good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars over the last 30+ years, and we would continue to do that.
That's part of Hart's message to voters, and this would be the other key point.
We're not asking for any additional dollars. It's not an additional dime. Your millage rate will stay the same. That's all we're asking our voters to help us do, is just continue the existing millage rate.
If you drive around Bryant, you'll likely see the signs imploring you to vote for the Bryant Arts and Music Venue, or the BAM.
We're known for our great school, but what else? If you're going to Bryant, what are you going to do? They want to have something to do in town. So that's part of the vision, a downtown anchor.
The indoor venue would seat around 3,000 for concerts and entertainment, and could also be used for reunions, corporate events, even senior prom. Mayor Chris Treat says due to taxes and bonds already in place, it won't cost any extra money. But come May 13th, voters in Bryant will have to vote yes twice if they want to build it.
They've got to approve both. They got to reissue the bonds and then say we want to use it for this money. If you reissue the bond but then don't tell us what to do with it, again, it's a no vote.
But how do people here in Bryant actually feel about the BAM? Well, we asked several at the gas station right next to where it would be, and while most people told us they hadn't heard about it, those who have say they're all for it.
I've not talked to anyone that's against it. We love to go to Little Rock, but to have those kind of things available here in Saline County, I think would be great.
I think it's tremendously positive, a good, clean venue.
Try to keep in step with the, like Benton maybe, or something like that, since they got the Buc-ee's.
But regardless if the vote is yes or no, hearing from as many people as possible is the most important thing.
We want to know, is this what you want to do with this half cent? The half cent's done a lot of great things for our community. Built Bishop Park, the Parkway, fire stations, other parks improvements. Do you want to do this with it now? That's the question. We just hope people get out there and tell us.
In Bryant, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Well, early voting for all of those elections is May 6th, with Election Day set for May 13th. A step forward in the recovery process for Old St. Joseph's in North Little Rock. We'll show you the way tradition helped make progress. But first, it's time to eat it up.
Take the first two off.
Look at that. It's like watching the Jedi Master do the trick. It's unbelievable. This week on Eat It Up, we are in southern Lono County in the town of England at Real Fish. And y'all, I'm talking real fish. If you want to talk about the freshest catfish in Arkansas, these bad boys were swimming about 12 hours ago, and now they're on your plate, not to mention fried okra. We got unbelievable fried green tomatoes, and by the way, live crawfish boil. So what do you say? Let's eat it up!
Man, I'm a commercial fisherman. Like, I started out fishing, and that's what I do. For the last 11 years, I've been a commercial fisherman. And the restaurant came new to me. I just happen to know how to cook as well. I got friends, I got church people. Like, the support has grown, and it's there. I just can't, let's pinpoint it to one place. Like, it's all over. Everybody coming to help. I got a little bit of everything on the menu, like the buffalo ribs and catfish fillets, they order that, like, and fried green tomatoes, my frog legs. My favorite here now is crawfish. Like that, I eat crawfish 3-4 times a week. I'm not playing. Like, even if I'm not open, I eat crawfish at home. I cook them at home, I eat them. I can eat probably about 12 to 15 pounds of crawfish. I eat a half a sack. Yeah.
You go fishing every day?
Every day. I work 7 days a week. 7 days, never stop, 7 days a week. I've been doing that for the last 4 years.
So you know it's fresh?
Yeah, every day.
Look at there. We got it. It only took 6-7 tries. I want my lips tingling. I want my tongue tingling. I want all of that spice in between, because that's how you know it's good. Pause to edit while I get all the corn out of my teeth for 5 minutes. All right, here's our traditional catfish. Y'all ready? Look at the size of that bad boy. Right out of the river. That will knock you off your feet. You better not be standing when you take a bite of that. Oh, dude. You throwing fried green tomatoes? Thomas came out of nowhere with fried green tomatoes. That's the best fried green tomato I've ever had in my life. This is no exaggeration. Go get these fried green tomatoes right now. All right, we got to cut because I need Bree to eat. I need Bree to eat something.
Those wildfires last month hit a North Little Rock landmark hard. The old St. Joseph's took heavy damage, and it looked like the foundation's famous farmers market might be no more. But Carter Thweet takes us back to the North Little Rock campus to show us how tradition brought things back together.
One of the farmers happened to be in the far field, and he told us that he saw smoke coming from the cupola.
It was March 19th when the roof of the over 100-year-old St. Joseph Center caught fire. 4 people like Michelle Schellebarger, the program's manager for the former orphanage school and nursing home, it was devastating.
My family's volunteered here for 6 years, 7 years, and we're here all the time, and it's been really hard.
But on Thursday afternoon,
that's something to look for at our market.
Things, at least for a little while, will be back to normal.
Today's our farmers market kickoff. And
actually even better than normal, according to Monica Woods, who's in charge of the market through her role with the Growing Urban Farmers Program.
St. Joseph has held specialty markets before. We did a few last year, just seasonal markets. But this is the first time that we're doing a farmer's market that's a weekly market.
Woods says they have over a dozen vendors at the first one, so you can buy directly from local folks who you can meet at the same time. But that's not the only reason today is special.
A lot of people have St. Joseph on their radar now, unfortunately because of the fire. But I think that's going to draw some folks out. We've just gotten so much support from the community, so much overwhelming support. And so I know a lot of customers are going to come out just to kind of offer that support here today.
And they will have those farmer markets for every Thursday from now through October. It wraps up the weekend wrap up. We appreciate you clicking through. Tell all your friends to make sure they've got access to THV 11 Plus and all our digital platforms. And we'll see you next week.